Hey yo, what's up? What's up? I'm back with yet another mini story about my work experience. Okay? Um let's see. Last time I talked a little bit about when I was in the army. So after I left the army, I went back to Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I went back to Chicago and I started working for GrubHub through a staffing company called Roth Staffing. I actually think, no, I did do another work experience story with Roth Staffing. As a CRC admissions video. Anyway, so I went back to Chicago and I got back in with Roth Staffing. My dad had a friend there, more or less, and they got me a job at GrubHub. And GrubHub was interesting because it's my first tech job and really my only tech job, until I started making apps and stuff like that. So yeah, it was my first tech job, and it was probably the coolest job that I've had so far. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more thought into that. But basically, they would always cater food. For those of you that know about GrubHub, well, for those of you who don't know, it's a food delivery service in some cities, and in other cities, it's only a online thing. So that's kind of like the basic rundown. But I was a dispatcher at GrubHub when I was in Chicago. So basically, if drivers had issues or concerns or whatever, like I'd call them and tell them how to get to where they were going, wherever the destination was. I'd talk to customers if customers had complaints, because drivers would be giving out the dispatch number, which they shouldn't be, but they did anyway. So I had to talk to customers, make things better when drivers messed up, driver payment. But so I had a lot of responsibility. So normally that would be like a downside, because a lot of times companies don't pay you for the work you're doing like adequately, But I don't know. For me, it was like only $11 an hour. But for me, like you had a choice between working 35 hours, which is like what you had to work, or you could work more. So there were a lot of times where I worked 50 and 60 hours a week because I felt like that was the only way to really make decent money at $11 an hour. Oh, goodness. What about y'all? So there would be weeks where, like I said, I worked 50 or 60 hours. It was also interesting because I started messing with my team lead, and I don't put names out there, so don't expect me to say, oh, so and so and so's name. But anyway, so I started messing with my team lead and all that stuff. And she was like, she was older than me by like 8 or 9 years or something like that. I forget exactly how old she is. But that was interesting because a lot of people say don't shit where you eat and all that stuff, which makes sense. But I feel like, especially at that time, I wasn't really overly concerned about that. I wasn't sure how long I was gonna be able to stay at GrubHub to begin with, and it wasn't a true job in the sense that they hired me. There's a chance I could be hired, but I really wasn't looking at it that way. So it was pretty cool. Like I said, it was real techy. Some of the people I was working with were a little annoying and all that stuff, but it is what it is. That's just part of a job. Ultimately, I ended up being let go, or they contacted my staffing company and said that they were no longer needed my services because on my days off, part of it was because I would go in on my days off and get sodas from out the fridge. I forget what the other reasons were, but there was more than just that reason. Anyway, so that's just a basic rundown of my time at GrubHub. Pretty cool, pretty legit. I guess they're based or founded in Chicago. But I'll catch y'all on the next one, okay? See y'all then. Peace out.